Okay, so I just want to make sure that we're actually live before we start getting into it. Although we should be, there's usually like a 10 or a 50. Yeah, okay. What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Stephen from Cider and Port back for a video. So this is something that I've kind of talked about in my personal life a little bit. And, like when me and my co-host Kevin are kind of, we're in person and we're kind of talking. Like it's one of the things that's kind of come up is this person, Blair. Now, look, I'm not transphobic. I'm not going to say that Blair is anything other than a woman because that's what she is. That's what she identifies as. I'm going to only use female pronouns. I'm not going to disparage her, not in any way, shape, or form. But this is something that I've kind of said before, and a few people are kind of unsure about what I mean. And I think that this is the best kind of medium to like express exactly kind of what I mean, right? And exactly what I'm talking about when I say that Blair White, who is transgender, is transphobic. Now, the term grifter is not going to be new to a lot of people, right? A lot of people are going to have heard of that term, right? And will know exactly what I mean by grifter. But just on the chance that you don't, or if you're unfamiliar or unsure, whatever, a grifter is somebody who is part of a marginalized group or a systemically negatively affected group that sides with the oppressor in order to paint themselves as one of the good ones. You will see this in people like Candace Owens, just for example. The vast majority of the Republicans are either racist or are okay with racism because they vote for people who who then in turn vote for racist policies or side with racist policies. So even if they are not themselves racist, they are voting, they are okay with racism being voted on and being normalized. And yet Candace Owens is a mouthpiece for the Republican Party. She will go out there and she will defend Donald Trump. She will defend any other Republican. She will say, no, that they're not racist, that this and that, the other thing. Oh, and it's just a victim complex. If you say that, oh, because of your race, you were affected by this and that, oh, you're such a victim, this, that, the other thing, despite the fact that Candace Owens herself was the victim of extremist levels of racism when she was in college. So despite all that, you're just a victim, suck it up and just bow down. And that is exactly what Blair White does. Just from her own personal marginalization, which is that she is trans. And every single one of her videos are, I'm the good one. I'm the good trans person. I'm actually going to I hadn't planned on doing this, so I'm just going to have to you'll just have to bear with me just for a moment, but it won't take me very long because I had a Blair White video that was there that was kind of ready that I was going to respond to. So yeah, buckle up for that, by the way. I'm just going to share my screen right now. I'm just going to share the audio again because I'm just going to go back into it from here. Okay, so this is Blair White's channel. I'm just going to kind of slowly scroll as I mention this or as I say this. I'm going to get rid of that. Every single one of Blair White's videos they are an ugly trans person and I am better than them because I'm pretty. That's the basic gist of every single one of her videos. And you can pause, you can stop and pause this. You can, after in post, if you're not watching this live, if you want to go back and just pause at certain points when it gets to a new, set of her videos. It's every single one of them are, look at the ugly trans person. Aren't they very ugly? Aren't they very masculine? I'm better than them because I'm a pretty trans person. That's 100% of her videos. 100% of them. This is going back. This is a year ago. This is like more than a year. This is like 18 months of videos, and every single one of them are just that. It's incredibly annoying and everything else. And so this is the video that I'm going to be responding to, but we're not going to be doing that just yet. But it's literally 100% of her videos. And by the way, she will criticize and she will ridicule and she will go after people and say, that they're not an actual trans person because they haven't had all of the surgeries, or because, they still have their male appendage, right? Blair still has her male appendage. Blair has refused to have bottom surgery. She has done no less than 3 videos on why she still has a penis and why she will not be getting bottom surgery. By her own logic, she would refer to herself using the same terms, using the same logic, using the same level of criticism that she has levied at other people. Blair would be justified in calling herself a man, in calling herself not a real trans person. I don't know or particularly care about what a real trans person, or like what the criteria for getting to a real trans, but I don't know or care what that is, or like what you have to do. I don't know. Do you have to be living as a trans person for a certain amount of years? Do you have to have all of the surgeries? Do you have to have this and that? I don't care if you, as being, whatever. If you prefer male pronouns, if you prefer female pronouns, if you identify as being male, if you identify as being female, I have absolutely no problem in the world whatsoever calling you by whatever pronouns you personally use or you personally want to be referred to. I don't care. If you want me to use female pronouns with you, I will use female pronouns with you, and vice versa for male pronouns. I don't give a fuck. It takes a second's thought before I do it. It's probably only going to take maximum a few hours out of my day long term. I'm not like I'm going. So say that this happens on a Tuesday. Say that I have to think, okay, this person wants me to use male pronouns. I'm going to have to use male pronouns. If I'm talking to them for a few hours on, let's just say Tuesday, I'm going to wake up on Wednesday and not even think about it. I'm going to probably forget about it later, probably later Tuesday evening. It requires so little thought on my part that I just don't care. But Blair repeatedly refers to trans people by the gender that they do not identify with, or that they previously identified with. She will refer to female trans people as male, and she will refer to male trans people as female. She will dead name them if she wants to. She doesn't all the time. Somewhat credit where it's due, although I use that in the absolute bare minimum, bottom of the barrel standard wise. But if it's acceptable for, okay, and this is why I say that Blair White is a transphobe. Because for some reason, Blair thinks that because she is trans, that she can get away with doing this, or that she can say it, right? Well, of course she can say it because she's trans. But if I, as a cis man, was to say the same things, if I was to quote Blair and not state that I was quoting Blair, people would refer to me as transphobic. That is my point. That is where I get that is how I have arrived at the opinion that Blair White is transphobic. Now, before we get into this video, I do have to just kind of say, I have watched this. The only reason that I say that ahead of time is because there was a lot of points that she brings up that needed like a lot of background research and trying to kind of find sources and stuff like that. I happened upon this video and, you know, I just kind of thought that I just kind of give it a go. I'll give it a look. I'll look at the first couple of minutes, right? And just kind of see, you know, like what's happening or what's going on. Because the title kind of attracted me to the video. But the main point and what I like really want to get at is where she goes with this. She brings up a lot of things. She makes a lot of claims, and they are disgustingly out of context. So she will bring up at some point, about halfway through the video, she will bring up the point of there is X amount of sexual assaults done in prison by trans people. And she'll say that it's a certain percentage or it's a fraction or something on those lines. But when she goes back, right, because she doesn't link her sources ever. But there are certain turfy websites that are out there that are unmistakable when you see them. If you've ever seen a turfy type of a website, you get to know them. You get to recognize them. And I recognized the one that she was using, and I went and I found the sources that they were using. Again, a little bit difficult, but basically, there was a study that was done over a 10-year period that found that in one single prison, in 10 years, out of 125 reported cases of sexual assault, that there was 7 of them who were done by trans people. Now, again, this is one prison that was that a study was done on, and again, over a 10-year period. And I think that she says it's like 5% or something like that, or 5 point some odd percent. And so it was just to kind of save myself the hassle of, you know, live on stream trying to track this down. That's why I kind of wanted to just kind of say this ahead of time. I will leave, I don't have them yet, but in post, as soon as the live stream is ended, I will go in and I will link the sources that I'm, or the study that I'm referring to. I won't leave a link to a turfy website because I'm not going to taint my channel with that sort of filth. But oh god. So without further ado, Let's get into this. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a little bit painful. But, you know, I'm sure that if we all, you know, hold hands around the campfire and sing Kumbaya, we will get through it together.
Meet Barbie Kardashian, the trans woman who has never medically transitioned at all, who is currently in a women's prison after a string of
Okay, well, that's awkward.
assaults against women, physical.
So I don't know what the fuck is going on here. We're just going to bump that well the fuck down just because I don't know. That probably is going to have to do something. Okay, so she starts off by saying that she is worse than Jessica Yaniv. Now, Jessica Yaniv is a truly, truly despicable human being. She is a known child predator. She is a known, you know, she's just a despicable human being. This person who she is referring to, Barbie Kardashian, which, oh, that name. There are so many comments that I could say, but they're all heavily offensive. So I'll restrain myself. Whew. She's not worse than Jessica Yaniv. That's just a little spoiler alert, just by the way. She's not worse than Jessica Yaniv. That would be a very, very difficult thing to do. But anyway.
Assaults against women, and one horrifying incident of using her nails to physically gouge out the eyes of a female staff worker. Make it make sense.
Okay. Yeah. By the way, the only kind of thing that I could find about her using her nails to physically gouge out the eyes of a something worker, I forget the actual word that she used there, but like I couldn't find much on it. And what I did find, I mean, whereas like it wasn't great or anything, but it never kind of like there was some conflicting reports. There was some that said that she like, you know, like scratched her eyes and caused damage. There was one other that said that like it was just a result of the two of them fighting. Like it's mixed reporting, but of course, Blair, the transphobe that she is, she's going to try and paint this person in the most negative possible light that she can. I'm just going to see if I can, because I said, well, I see that that's in 60, so I don't know if that's going to work. We'll find out together.
Hey guys, welcome back to my main channel. So a few videos.
No, it's not. Okay, sorry guys. We're just gonna bump it down to 480 because there's something with the 60 FPS when I put it in here. I don't know. It's just it's laggy or something. Anyway.
Back, I mentioned that I had a bit of a darker video coming down the pipeline, a topic that's not so lighthearted. So this is your one and only warning. This video does deal with.
Okay, a more lighthearted, but all of her videos are attacking trans people, like all of them. So, I mean, I get like she referenced a main channel there. Does she have two? I don't actually know if she has two or something. But the point is that literally all of the videos on this channel, as I fucking showed you, are all attacking trans people. So, okay, it's a little bit of a darker thing that you're accusing her of, but okay.
With some pretty messed up stuff. It is the stuff of nightmares. You cannot make half of this stuff up. Today we're discussing a topic.
Well, a little bit ironic that she said that. Okay, so I maybe didn't attack turfy websites enough. The most ironic thing about this, and it is a case of brilliant, and I mean like stunningly beautiful irony. The website that she is referencing when she gets the story on this person, right? And where all of her information is coming from, they are ridiculously transphobic. So much so that the website that she is referencing would call Blair a man. Blair is engaging in one of the most egregiously, like, complicated and unnecessary forms of self-hatred that I've seen in a very, very long time. Blair is a trans woman who, well, A, just hates trans people, but also doesn't mind referencing people who would like who would happily, like, the Republican fear of putting her in a fucking gulag type of, like they hate her, and yet she's referencing them as if they're on her side, and it's disgusting, and it's this, and you know, everything else. And yes, obviously, ooh, Blair White, hi Manda, by the way. Hi to everybody else in the chat. Sorry, I know that there are other live comments, but I was, you know, I was monologuing there, so just didn't really get the chance to kind of reference those. But yeah, so we're gonna go. Yeah, we'll just kind of jump into the wrestling. Oh, that's not what I wanted to happen at all. How did that? Okay, there we go.
Topic that is very uncomfortable for many in the world of trans discourse and trans activism, and that is prisons and trans people. The discussion of what prison is appropriate for a trans person to go into when and if they're convicted of a certain crime. Prisons are a part of life for millions of people in this country. Trans people.
I mean, yeah, look, obviously, if you're talking about, I mean, like, prisons is a little bit of a complicated issue, right? Because, like, if you are trans and if you like, I don't know if you, like, okay, it's somewhat odd, Manda, because, like, I saw the number of viewers kind of go up, so I'm assuming that was you, but I literally made that exact same point earlier in the stream. I literally referenced specifically Candace Owens as well. So that's funny in a little bit of a twisted way. But yeah, no, look, obviously, trans, you know, obviously prisons is a little is, it's complicated. It's not 100% straightforward, and there are, like, I think that it's one of those things that kind of needs to be done on like a case by case basis, right? So if you've had no hormones, if you've had no, you know, surgeries, no HRT, no nothing, yet you identify as female, it might seem a little, but I mean, that's a little bit of a tricky area, right? It's not 100% open and shut case. But if somebody who passes as well as, or you know, presents as convincingly as Blair, by the way, the website that she's referencing would have Blair be sent to a male prison, because they would make the argument, well, Blair is biologically male. She was born biologically male. Therefore, she needs to go to a male prison. But obviously, that is not the case for... Oh, there goes my lighter. Obviously, that is not the case for every single trans person. And the vast majority of them, I would say, if you identify, go to a woman's prison. Like, it's... And look, are there going to be, like, what she's kind of bringing up here is sexual assault within prisons. Is that going to happen? Like, I mean, yes, and I don't mean to kind of sound like I'm glossing over this, or like I'm making light of it, or, you know, dumbing it down a little bit, or like making it seem as though it's not as bad as it is. Of course, it's 100. It's horrific and it is awful. But rape happens in prison all the time, all of the time. So, and again, I don't mean to kind of make it seem as if it's not as bad as it is. Obviously, one rape in a prison is one too many, but it happens all of the time. So it's okay. Look, I'm just gonna I can feel myself monologuing already, so we're just gonna continue with the video.
Are a part of the population, no matter how small of a segment they may be. And so issues arise when it comes to trans people when and if they are convicted of crimes with, you know, this trans person is fully transitioned, bottom surgery and all. This person is halfway transitioned. This person is not transitioned.
Blair White is halfway transitioned, by the way, because she hasn't had bottoms.
What is the appropriate place for them?
Also, just bear that in mind, by the way. Keep that in the back of your mind. The more that you watch this, The fact that she said halfway transitioned and that Blair is halfway transitioned. She has not had bottom surgery. So just keep that in there. Just keep that there.
When things go terribly, disgustingly wrong, which we're going to talk about those scenarios and how I think you can best avoid them. You know, this is a topic.
Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Where's my mouse? This, no, it's not. It's on here. Well, it's no. Okay, this specifically tipped me off as to what type of website she was referencing. And you'll notice this all the time, by the way. You'll notice it even with this person here. A turfy website, because they hate trans people so much, they will get a name of somebody, right? Or they'll get something to like make, and they will go through as many photos of that person as there is, and they will try and get the most masculine looking photos of them that they possibly can. So if they are specifically male to female, so yeah, look at like obviously this trans part, they're not looking like their absolute best in these photos, right? They're not looking their best. But there are also, I'm sure, I don't I mean I don't know for absolute definite, because I don't care that much about Blair White as a person to follow her on any of her social medias. But I mean, I'm sure that she has some photos of her out there where she's not looking her best, you know. I don't think any of us look our best in the morning. There are a lot of people out there who they would say, not me, but they would say that, you know, they don't look their best until they put their makeup on in the morning. Again, that's not me saying, but that's them saying it. The point is that there are times when none of us look our best, and they will go after, they will hunt for the photos where they look their absolute worst, and they will put those on their website in order to belittle them even more.
Topic that is constantly debated on social media, but I very rarely ever see anyone just get it right. So I'm going to get it right today.
Highly doubt you will, but okay.
The star of today's video is someone by the name of Barbie Kardashian. Yes, this mug.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so now here's another thing. Barbie Kardashian, it was actually either in Ireland or in the UK. I'm actually not 100% sure where this mugshot is from. Now, a lot of people were pointing out to the fact that not just that that you know that she's obviously going, that the turf website is clearly after going for the worst possible photo that they can possibly get of her, but they're also making a very good point of saying that that mugshot is completely fake. And the reason that they're saying that it's fake, and why a dumbass like Blair wouldn't have noticed this, because in almost every single, you know, TV show about like cops, you know, so like go down through the list. You have like, what do you have? You have Bones, you have Criminal Minds, you have NCIS, you've any of those types of shows, right? Where they will potentially have a scene where there's a mugshot involved. They will always have the height in feet and in inches. Not in Ireland or the UK, they don't. In Ireland and in the UK, they have their height in centimeters. And if she was arrested in Ireland or the UK, that is not a real mugshot. So there's a little bit of doubt that we're already casting over this video, but let's get into how she is extraordinarily incorrectly claiming that she is worse than Jessica Yaniv. Let's just go over this.
Mugshot is real. This is not a creepypasta, and this story is probably the most disgusting.
You see, okay, look at right. It's that like she's that like it's not a, what is she, creepy pasta? It's like this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. all of her videos are just making fun of other trans people. Like she's so like, I actually think that she's worse. Me and Amanda kind of said it. Like, we both referenced Candace Owens. I think that she's worse than Candace Owens, because at least Candace Owens tries to not be so abrupt, tries not to be so explicit in her like hatred for black people or in her betrayal of black people. Like, she at least tries to kind of be like, no, this is just my opinions, and it's fine, and it's just what I think, and it's okay because my freedom, and I should be allowed to say. But Blair is like actively and explicitly just attacking these people personally for no reason, for absolutely no reason. She's just like, it's just weird
and disturbing instances of a trans person being put into a women's
trans person. Why does she do that? It's just so weird. Like, why does she do that? Like, it's not trans person. She's a trans person. Like, it's just, oh my. I just don't understand it, man. It just really. I'm sorry, my interface says that I'm clipping, so I'm just going to turn me down. Just let me know if I kind of still sound okay after here. I don't know, but it's just okay. Like, she's just, oh god. The fact that she's just like, I just don't know why she just goes out and says trans person in those quotation marks. By the way, like, again, this is why I said keep this in the back of your mind. Blair White, by some of her logic, could be referred to using the same logic, using the same criteria as Blair is currently using. She could be referred to as a trans person. Because whereas she looks and presents as female and everything else like that, she has a big old man dick swinging between her legs. Now, I don't personally, like, as I said, if you identify as whatever, I'll call you that. There's no issue whatsoever. There are several trans people who I am very, very sexually attracted to. Would I ever date a trans person? Absolutely. I have no reason to rule it out. But if you're going to be as disgusting and as vicious as Blair is, then I don't think that any sort of attack, like, the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm sure that people are going to kind of like have that, like, at least guttural reaction. Maybe it's maybe the thought didn't occur to them, but they had that guttural reaction of like, oh, holy shit, that was a little bit of an, offensive, whatever. Sorry, where am I? Brain mode made it in time for the big old man thing. But why people might have that kind of like guttural reaction of like, oh my god, like that was a little bit of a out of con, or that was a little bit of flippant remark or whatever. Like, but yeah, look, again, just using her criteria, and at this rate, with the way you're pausing only 1.5 minutes in this stream is going to be over 7 hours long. You did the math well. Okay, first off, I have to congratulate you for doing the math, because I would not have neither the time nor the patience nor the effort to do that. But secondly, there's absolutely no way am I streaming for 7 hours, because it's already, what time is it? It is already almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I have to be done by at least absolute maximum 5:30. So I'm either just going to rush through it, or I'm going to, eventually realize like, holy shit, I have 3 minutes and like 9 minutes of the video left to do. So like, okay, we need to, wrap this up. Where is Blair White from? Yeah, she's from America. But she is from one of the other Nazi media incubators like Newsmax or OANN. Yeah, look, I don't know. There was a video that I saw from Voss. She was actually Manda referenced him. Where he went over, like, I don't know, there was some like threads or like tried to be hidden things or whatever that basically kind of insinuated that Blair was actually, it's like she was saying things that were pretty fucking racist. And she did this whole like fake apology and stuff like that. So look, am I going to go so far as to say that she's a Nazi? I don't know, but she's definitely, she's 150% transphobic. I'm nearly positive that she's also racist, but then again, she's a Republican, so good enough chance. But yeah, let's continue with this video before we continue. Before we prove Manda's math right, and this video is 7 hours long.
Prison, and I say trans person in quotations, you will see why this person is basically just like,
because she's a transphobe
on steroids. I would say on hormones, but that's not the case. You cannot make the story up. And like
why the fuck does it matter whether she's on? Okay, I just don't like her fucking delivery. The whole thing, it's like she says like, oh, that she's not on hormones, and that mean like I don't care if she identifies as female. I'm going to say like I don't know, because it's just like my criteria and her weird backwards and self-criticizing and like fucking you do a boomerang but it goes the whole way around the fucking and it's over there and now it's back. Like her weird fucking logic is it just isn't logic. It's just ridiculous. So it's just very frustrating.
Like I said, this mugshot is real. But before we go any further, I do have to thank the sponsor of today's video, a brand that I'm very loyal to and is very loyal to me, Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN.
No, we're not going to do that. Oh God, we're not going to do that. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? I'm lagging bad with the video playback. Okay. I thought that it was going to be pretty much. Sorry, I'm trying to skip ahead to where we're not. To where she's not shilling about something else on my fucking channel. I don't know. I'm not saying that you're wrong about the lag. I just haven't noticed anything. I don't see anything on my end. I'm just going to boot up my phone just very, very quickly and just kind of see if I can kind of notice anything. But no, I don't notice any sort of although maybe it's just when the video was playing, though. That's also a possibility, of course. Yeah, sure. We'll play. We'll play this and we'll kind of see what happens. Then I don't.
Current story in a women's prison, despite a long history of sexual assault against women and violence against women. Barbie is described as a male who identifies as a female, but has not undergone any.
But this is exactly what I'm saying. It's like the whole male identifies as female. It's like, oh God, I don't know. Okay, so not with me with the Blair part. I still have my phone out. I'm trying to. Although yeah, it is a little bit jittery. Okay, well, I mean, I suppose I can try and where the fuck is my mouse? So I'm not used to having like two screens or two, like a second monitor or whatever. I can try bumping it down because that seemed to make a difference for the anyway. Fuck. Okay. Well, yeah. So okay. I'm really, really sorry to have to do this to you guys, but I was kind of concentrating on like looking at the video playback. So I'm just gonna skip back just a little bit and just go
in a women's prison.
I'm just gonna
Ireland.
Listen to this again. Oh yeah, okay. So it's in Ireland. I'm gonna listen to this again.
Back to the video. So the story of Barbie Kardashian takes place in Ireland. Barbie is
if it takes place in Ireland, that is a fake mugshot. Fake old mugshot.
Currently, this is a current story in a women's prison, despite a long history of sexual assault against women and violence against women. Barbie is described as a male who identifies.
Yeah, there's little to no evidence of this that I could find. Anyway, as I said at the start of this, I tried to find information on Barbie Kardashian. Couldn't find that much. And what I could find was well, not that really much, not that much really. A lot of claims, um, not that much. I mean, look at Blair posted up, like all these different, like she had one. What's the nice? She had one like like roughly here, and then roughly here, just kind of while she was talking about these like other uh photos of trans people and stuff like that. If you had a source for this that was confirmed and everything else like that, you could have just put that on the somewhere on the screen, but you didn't, because it's like the evidence for it is bleak at best. So sorry, kid.
Identifies as a female, but has not undergone any medical transition, no surgery, no hormones, no the Irish government.
No lived experience as a woman. Well, like okay, if you identify as trans, even though you have you haven't had any of the hormones or any of the surgeries or whatever, like there are a lot of people who before they come out as before they come out as trans, they've been identifying as trans for a little while, because they have to be kind of sure for themselves before they start telling people, and before they start going down the road of going into years of psychotherapy so that they can be diagnosed, or like so that they can be confirmed as having gender dysphoria, so that they can then go on to hormones, so that they can then eventually move on to surgery as soon as they have the funds available. The point is that there's a first step here that she's kind of like just glossing over just for some reason. Look, if we want to, okay, would she say that Caitlyn Jenner 10 years ago had no lived experience as a woman? I mean, Bruce is like, okay, I'm saying Bruce because at the time there was no Caitlyn Jenner, not at least publicly anyway, and because he was living life as Bruce then, and this was only like on occasion or only some of the times that he was doing this. So that's the only reason why I'm using Bruce, where he would go out and he would cross dress, or he would like go and do interviews, but he would be wearing women's underwear, like where he would do all of these sorts of things. Like, is that not like at least some of the lived experience as a woman? Is that not at least some of what she's getting at here? Look, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. But again, as my T-shirt that I'm actually not wearing today would state, it's highly unlikely. Look, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I don't know. I'm just throwing out maybes. I'm just throwing out maybes.
It seems that it is appropriate for Barbies to be in a women's prison, and has Barbie
because she identifies as a fucking woman, and that's why the Irish government said that she was going to be in a woman's prison. That's why.
sleeping in cells with female inmates. Now, Barbie's story is very sad, and I don't say that out of sympathy for Barbie. The only sympathy I have is for the victims of Barbie. But as you could probably guess, Barbie's childhood was really disturbing. So,
but what matter, man? Like, why does it matter what her fucking childhood was like? Like, I don't care about her childhood. I don't care what happened to her when she was a kid. Like, okay, look, it sounds harsh when I say it like that, but like, it doesn't matter to me, like what, because I mean, like, you can have people who go through a very trauma filled childhoods who turn out to be, like at least somewhat normal. I mean, look at me. But like then you also have people like, I don't know, serial killers. The point is that like your childhood doesn't necessarily like mean anything, and like, oh god, let's just go on to the point it's gonna make.
Barbie witnessed their father beat their mother, sexually assault their mother, and actually joined in on those attacks, which is very disturbing. I can't. So it was a learned behavior that Barbie took into adulthood.
Wait, what did she say?
Beat their mother, sexually assault their mother, and actually joined in on those attacks, which is
Well, yeah, okay. So she never said what age she was here, but if she witnessed her father sexually assault her mother and then just say, and sometimes she joined in on the, yeah, no, depending on the age, she didn't volunteer to join in. She didn't ask to join in. She was forced to join in by her piece of shit father. That's what happened. Not that. Okay, I know that this. Oh, where is my mess? I know this is grotesquely off topic, but if you don't do it, there's going to be issue. There's going to be do it like now, as in leave this video and go and do it now. Look, the point of what I'm saying here is that she was not like volunteering. Hey, dad, I see you're raping mom there. Can I get in on that? No, she was forced to. I'm sorry, but no child does that. I would like just no. And before anybody says, "Oh, like I'm just speculating," or I'm just no. I've 2 degrees in psychology. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. No child ever volunteers to help to sexually assault their mother if they are not pressured to do or forced to by their father. Given that is the situation, obviously that can be completely, flipped or changed or, take in some factors, put in the other. Like, I'm talking specifically about Barbie's situation when she was a child. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck, I keep forgetting that. There we go.
It's very disturbing. I can't. So in one really distinct story, Barbie actually
Well, yeah, okay. So learned behavior is no. Anything you learn, you can unlearn. Anything you learn, you can unlearn. Especially learned behaviors. Yeah, look at where is this going to take you a little while to kind of go out of it or to unlearn. You can still do it, and there is no excuse for like not doing something that you recognize as being a destructive behavior. And I'm sure that Barbie recognized that as being a destructive behavior. So there's no no, it's not like you don't. I'm not saying that learned behavior is not a thing. Of course, it is absolutely a thing. But it's not like it's not guaranteed that you will take all behaviors that you have done as a child that were forced upon you into adulthood. And even if you did, it's like it's not guaranteed. Is the point?
Eyes out of a female care staff worker.
Well, yeah, I can't help but notice that there's no fucking reference. There's no reference on this. There's nowhere to kind of indicate where this is from. I mean, this could be from. I mean, fuck it. She could have put that into fucking Microsoft Word for all I know, and then just did a whole okay. Well, let's just kind of read it anyway. On May 1st of last year, the 17-year-old was a backseat passenger in the car with suddenly and without okay. And look, okay, this is how I know this from a TARF website, by the way. This is exactly how I know. Exactly how I know. Because we're going to go over it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There. That's how I know that it's from a TARF website. Right there. Learns from, oh, wow, I was doing a little buffer there. Learns for and dug her nails into the eyes of a female care worker driving the vehicle. The thing of the size of the victim's head, refusing to let go, and bit the co-worker on the hand and struggled and while threatening to kill her. The care worker was left with torn eyelids, clumps of hair have been ripped from her scalp, and one had to be hospitalized. Yeah. If you could throw in like a reference or, a photo or two, or what else could you throw in? A hospital's report, something, just something, because right now it's just a claim, and it's a pretty big claim. It's a pretty serious one, but Yeah, not that nothing's been proven here. Nothing's been backed up. It's just a claim. Like that's it. Just a claim.
When Barbie was a teenager. That was before even Barbie was in prison. Barbie's solicitor said that Barbie would be exceptionally vulnerable in a prison.
Did you? What? Yeah. Look! Fucking miss. Fucking turfy websites, man. I can't fucking deal with it. Why did you go over the name? Is it because it's an Irish name and you can't pronounce it? Like, is that why? It's Michelle Finnan. Like, it's pretty. I don't know. I don't know. It's pretty easy for me. I mean, like, I don't know. Perks of being Irish, I guess. Okay.
Prison setting and is very anxious she be detained in a prison facility for females as she identifies as female. Well, sweetie, I'm sorry, but when you have a history of violating women.
Why is she doing that? Why is she like censoring the word? It makes me feel like my fucking earbuds are failing or something. It's very fucking weird. It's extremely distracting.
And physically assaulting women. We're gonna need a little more than I'm a girl too. Please let me sleep in a cell with female inmates. We're gonna need a little more than that, sweetie. I'm sorry, but we are. So again, we have to be clear. There is no even small bit of medical trans.
Okay. So let's just say, right? Let's just try and flip this on Blair, just for a moment. Not that I've done much acting in the past, but you know, I'm kind of I dabble a little bit, and so I'll play the part of a transphobe just for the next minute or so. Now, let's just for the sake of argument, right? Hypothetically, let's just assume that Blair, for whatever reason, happens to physically assault a woman, and let's say that this woman is cisgender, right? Now, if I was to play the part of a transphobe, I would say, well, I mean, Blair, you know, she's up on a charge. She's up on a charge of physically assaulting a woman, and you know, she wants to go to a woman's prison. Hey, look, I mean, like, that may be all well and good, but you know, I mean, she already has a history of physical violence. It's just one slippery slope. It's just one little step away. She goes into if Blair goes into a female prison with that big old man dick swinging between her legs, you know, it's just a small step away from a sexual assault happening, and I don't know if I'm okay with that. If she has a big old man dick, I think that she needs to go to a big old man prison. That's what I think. How easy would it be for somebody to make that case? That if she just saw, and again, for whatever reason, she could have been fighting for her fucking life. It doesn't matter. The point is that if you're going to use the logic of, if Blair has done this to if just follow the same fucking train of thought that she's bringing up and just take out whoever she happens to be attacking this week and put her in, and the exact same thing would be true, because look, I don't know. Let's just keep going.
Under Barbie's belt, and yet somehow the Irish government decided that it was best for Barbie to be placed in a women's prison. Now, this is based on what's called self-ID. So self-ID has actually been written into law in many countries like Ireland, and in certain states we have self-ID here in the United States. It's basically, I'm trans because I said so, and that is the entire basis. You don't have to have any proof, any medical diagnosis, nothing.
Bullshit! Nope, that's not how that one. Nope. No. So I did a little bit of research into this as well, because again, as I said at the start of this video, I've already watched this. So yeah, if this is your first time watching it, this is my second time. You know, believe me, it's more painful for me. So the self-ID laws that are in Ireland, this case happens in Ireland. So I didn't actually look at the US's laws around self-ID, but you know, this case happened in Ireland, so I just looked at it. No, self-ID, yes, you have to self-identify, but you also have to have been diagnosed, I keep saying diagnose, and it's like going into like a negative connotation. Basically, you have to have a psychotherapist say that you have gender dysphoria. You don't have to have started any of the hormones, any of the like anything else like that. You have been identified as having gender dysphoria, and that you are and that you are publicly identifying as trans. That is the criteria for self-ID laws in Ireland. So no, she's wrong.
And this determines what prison you go to. Now, in America, it's much different. It varies state by state, and certain states are more strict. Think of maybe like in Arkansas, is going to lean more toward you go to the prison based on your biological sex and biological sex only. Places like California are more lenient in the sense that if you say you're trans, you have a good chance of just being able to go to the prison that you want. Now, if you think that I'm an
Yeah, look, again, I haven't done any looking into the US's laws on this, but I highly doubt that it's as simple as just saying that you're trans. Like, I'm pretty sure that if I was to go to court in California, that I couldn't get up on the bench and be like, well, I'm trans, so you have to send me to a female prison. I don't think that very many people are going to look at me with the big old beard that I have and say, oh, well, no, obviously, this person's trans. Fuck off.
Absolutist in my approach to this, and that I lean towards, yeah, biological sex, that's the prison you go to. I think there are problems with both ends of the extreme, and so I'm going to offer some solutions in this video that are outside of that. I know a lot of people, maybe even that are watching this video, are more comfortable with keeping it simple in their minds, which, you know, biological sex you're born as, that's what prison you go to. And then other people are going to be more on the extreme of, if this person says they're a woman, put them in the women's prison. But these sort of absolutist, extremist positions are what gets us.
They're not extremist positions. Like, even the one that says that if you're born as a like, no, it's not an extremist position. I don't agree with, because okay, so if you want to take what Blair has identified as the extremist point of view of if you're born biologically male, well, yeah, well, I mean, like, look, obviously, Blair is going to disagree with that, because if she ever did anything, then she will be sent to a male prison if she agreed with the extremist position there. It's not even necessarily an extremist position. It's just one that I don't hold and one that I disagree with, and we can have a conversation about that. But it's not like I wouldn't. I don't know. Look, maybe it's just like a small bit of like a pedantic point of view, but I just wouldn't say that it's an extremist point.
Us into 99% of the messes we get into in all areas of when it comes to trans people. For example, me, bitch, in their right mind, who would think that if God forbid y'all caught me slipping and convicted me of some kind of crime, that I would be best placed into a men's prison. Think about it long and hard. Girl. But I mean, come on, even
don't girl me. Okay. Under some of the so you disagree with Barbie having been placed into a female prison. Now, you said that it's because of previous history of violence and sexual violence. Now, some of that could be alleviated, you know, if she had a bottom surgery, right? Some of it. Not all, but some. Somebody could make the exact same case if she was violent towards a woman, if Blair was violent towards a woman, as Blair is making for Barbie. Says she's not safe in a female prison. So don't give me this is exactly what I said at the very, very start of the video before we played this one, was that Blair's entire catalog of content is look at the ugly trans person. I'm prettier than they are. I'm the good trans person. You have to look at me. You know, not all of us are bad, right? That's like the gist of all of her content. And that's exactly what she's just done there. It's like this whole smug face with your girl bullshit. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's 90% of her content. Nobody would ever put Blair into a male prison because look at her, she's pretty. And look, regrettably, because, okay, everybody knows, right, that there's two scales that you can measure or that you can score somebody on, right? You can score somebody on looks and you can score somebody on personality, right? Blair, for me, she's about a 7.5, right? On looks. But on personality, she's -3. So overall, she balances out at about a 2. I don't care how good looking Blair is. I don't care. She's a piece of shit human being, and that makes her ugly as fuck. That makes her uglier than every single person that she has ever made a criticism that a trans person. Look at how bad like she's worse than them on looks because of her disgusting, ridiculous, transphobic, racist personality. That's what makes her worse than any other person that she has ever done a video on.
In men's prisons with only men are having relations with other men by force or otherwise. What do you think would happen if I came strutting in?
What do you... Rape happens in women's prison all the fucking time. Simply by her trying to say this ridiculous point of rape happens in men prisons, what do you think is going to happen if I strut in? Why do you think that if you go to a female prison, why does Blair, like, okay, Blair is implicitly making the argument that she's more likely to be raped if she goes into a male prison than, and that may be true. But the point is that she's kind of giving off the impression of, oh, if she goes into a female prison, well, then she's fine. Rape happens in female prisons all the time. Fuck is this bitch talking about?
However, and not to make this all about me, I'm just using me as an example, I could also...
Well, yeah, because you can't point to a single other pretty trans person because then you would have to never attack them ever. And you have to leave that particular door open in case of you're a little lagging on future content.
To see how, in the minds of most people, it would be inappropriate for me to be in a women's prison. I am pre-op. Now, would I be a danger to women? Obviously not. However...
How the fuck? What the fuck? How is that obvious? How is that obvious? Oh, so because because Blair is straight, because she's with a guy, that she's never going to be a danger to women? What the like? Why is that obvious? Why is that an obvious point? I mean, like, that's like me saying, okay, well, if I go to prison, I'm not gay. Oh, so obviously nobody has to be in danger. Like, what the fuck? That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Or no, maybe that's not quite analogous. Maybe that's not quite analogous, but it would be like somebody like, oh, God, above. Oh, Jesus, fuck.
This is why I personally believe that the solution to this issue is LGBT wards in prisons. Do you guys remember that one meme, I've been waiting for you at the door?
I'm being real with you because I heard about you. I was waiting on you at the door.
So that person is actually a trans woman, and this is from a reality show that was filming inside of an LGBT prison ward. Television gold, by the way. Like, I need to watch that fully.
Yeah, I can fight
Shut
with
the
nails.
fuck up.
Don't get it twisted. I got an attitude problem. I shot my landlord.
Now, not all prisons have LGBT wards, whether it's because of funding or whatever the case may be. I don't exactly know. However, I do think this is the solution for trans people who are convicted of crimes, at least, especially trans people who are pre or non-op or just are on their way to becoming post-op. I think housing.
But if a member of the LGBTQ plus community is guilty of and has been convicted of a violent crime, such as like assault or GBH or, I mean, like nothing sexually, and let's say that they were a self-hating gay person, then I mean, are they going to, like, oh God, there's so much holes. Oh, there's more fucking holes in this than the fucking professional iMac that was released by Apple a few years ago. At the fucking side of it, the cheese grater looking shit. There's so much fucking holes in her logic.
Trans people with other trans people and other LGBT people is probably the best bet here. And it's not because trans people are inherently a danger to those around them, but it's also for the sake of the safety of trans people, because there are a lot of trans people who get assaulted in prisons as well when they are placed with their biological sex, and that is an issue as well. It's about minimizing the risks and the dangers and the assaults for everyone.
Wait a minute. She said that there is risks that come to trans people that there are risks of sexual assault to trans people if they are placed in a prison that is not that is with their biological sex. But she disagreed. She disagreed with the Irish government putting Barbie Kardashian in a female prison. So, okay, so you disagree with the choice of putting Barbie in a female prison. If you disagree with that, then you would agree with the choice to putting her into a male prison. Right? So, like, that's point number one. Or that's the first half of this. The second half of it, if you agree with her being put into a male prison, and yet you are admitting that putting trans people in a prison of their biological sex makes them more at risk to sexual assault, is that not freaking anybody out? That she's basically saying that trans people are more likely to be the victims of sexual assault if they go into the prison that is matching with their biological sex, and yet she disagreed with a trans person going into a prison that is for the gender that she identifies as and not her biological set. Like, no, is this not freaking any? Like, I mean, look, it's possible that I'm just reading too much into this, but I mean, is nobody else getting freaked out about this, like, at all?
But there really are no easy answers for when you're in the middle stage of that transition. So I think the best thing is LGBT wards. This is a deeply complicated issue where you have to balance the rights of female inmates and of the trans person. Because unfortunately, Barbie Kardashian is not some, crazy outlier. And this is something that happens all the time. And we actually have a lot of examples of this, especially as more and more states are becoming more lenient with trans people in prisons. You have this trans person named Karen White, who, no relation to me, let it be known, who is a pre-op trans inmate in a women's prison, who also has a history of violence, and who, in a span of 3 months of being locked up, assaulted 2 female inmates. That is an issue. And I'm sorry, but the female inmates have rights.
Nobody's saying that the female inmates don't have rights, but, like, she's leaning. Okay, so she said that you have to respect the rights of the individual trans person and of the women who are in women's prison. So there's a number of things there. First off, you're automatically differentiating trans women and women. No, trans women are women. I'm sorry, but trans women are women. So you're automatically differentiating the two. And secondly, you're so obviously preferring like or giving preferential treatment to biological women over trans women. It's like she's literally in favor of like segregating LGBTQ people in prisons. Now look, she's glossing it up very, very nicely and saying, oh no, it's for their own safety and it's for their own protection, this and that, the other thing. Like, just I don't think so. Look, I don't know, man. I just don't think so. But here's the thing. I mean, like, what happens if you get somebody who? What happens if you have a man who is a serial rapist of men only? Like, what prison do you put him in? Genuinely, right? I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm genuinely asking the question. I don't know. What prison do you actually put him in? Because even if you were to do the whole LGBTQ ward thing, I mean, you're putting a guy in with other, okay, so gay men, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to like it if they try and have sex with them. So, and then again, you can't put him in, and you, so if you don't put him in the segregated LGBTQ ward, the other male inmates in that prison are still at risk of sexual assault. I mean, genuinely, like, this is just one of those things, like, but it's the same sort of thing. It's like, look, are there potentially going to be, like, you know, bad outcomes or negative outcomes that will happen if you put somebody who is LGBTQ into a what? Like, yeah, there's obviously bad things that can potentially happen, but I mean, there's bad things that can potentially happen all the time, or in any other circumstances, or in any other situation. It's I don't know, man. It's just so completely ridiculous, weird to me.
As well, and it's not fair to lock them up with people like this. You have trans inmate Heather Mason in Canada who was charged with sexual assault, also which took place in the women's prison she was locked up in. And then here's the gag. There's a story about how 11 trans people in men's prisons this year were also assaulted. So it's very messy. It's not easy and we can't get it perfect, but I think LGBT wards are the closest to getting it perfect. At the end of the day, one of the saddest realities when it comes to prison.
Yeah, so segregating people who are LGBTQ is the closest that you can get to perfection. Let's just take the middle part, that segregation is the closest you can get to perfection. Really don't think that's a road that she wants to go down.
Prisons, whether it be men's prisons, women's prisons, is that rape and sexual assault is rampant. Even the statistics.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know that she keeps it. I did mention this, but the fact that she keeps self-censoring certain words and the fact that the like audio like cuts in and out for even just like a half of a second, it's so unbelievably fucking like distracting and annoying and like, yeah. Sorry.
On male sexual violence in prisons are sky high and actually make up for a large percentage of actual in total assaults in the country. So you're never going to be able to completely mitigate or remove these things from happening. But there are some things that just like are a no-brainer to me, and that there's no reason for these things to be happening. There's no reason for a trans person who does not have any medical.
Yeah, but I mean, like, bad shit is probably always going to happen in prisons anyway. Like, you can't like 100% get rid of like bad shit happening in prisons. These are people who have been found guilty of crimes. And yes, I know that we send a certain amount of innocent people to prison, but the vast majority of them in there are guilty of it. So the idea that you can like 100% get rid of all bad shit happening in prisons, that's a pipe dream. That's a fairy, like that's fairy tale land. Like That's almost never going to happen. But the point is, and again, trans people, like, why do you keep putting it in fucking quotations? It's ridiculously annoying. Stop putting it in fucking quotations. Like, it's like, they're not trans people, they're trans people.
Their male anatomy to be placed into a women's prison when they already have a history of assaulting women. Like, this is the kind of stuff that everyone can see coming, and somehow, you know, this is just one of those topics, you guys. There's really no easy solution, and it's one of those things we're now learning to grapple with. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think, what you're...
Okay, so nowhere really in... Okay, so she was accused... So, like, the actual subject, or the person that was attacking for this video, was Barbie Kardashian. So like, let's just go over. So she was accused, which there is no good evidence, which there is no solid evidence of gouging someone's eye out. She was ultimately guilty of something, which is why she was actually sent to prison. It's just the actual mugshot that she showed off that was just fake, because it was in fucking feet and inches rather than centimeters. But she was actually sent to prison because she was actually guilty of something. But I'm not the one claiming that she was worse than Jessica Yaniv. Blair is. And nowhere did she even bring up. She didn't bring up Jessica Yaniv. She didn't even mention her the entire video. The entire video. Or if she did, it was only at the start, when she was kind of like, you know, if you can believe it, this person's worse than whatever. The point is, she never actually got into demonstrating or explaining or meeting her own burden of proof, where she said that Barbie is worse than Jessica Yaniv. And this is going to be a shocker to a lot of you, I know, but she's fucking not. Absolutely in no way, shape, or form is she worse than Jessica Yaniv. If she was found guilty, I'm sorry, I can't even look at her fucking stupid face anymore. Where's the thing? If she was found guilty of doing something that ultimately led her to being sent to prison, you know, I'm going to say, you know, fine. It's obviously not fine, but the point is, like, yeah, so she did whatever. She was sent to prison for it. Nobody is saying that was a bad thing. Nobody is saying that there was anything wrong with that. But what I'm specifically saying that there is something wrong with is when she says that she was worse than Jessica Yaniv, who was somebody who was a fucking, like, who was a proven, caught, like, red-handed type of child predator. She's not worse than Jessica Yaniv. Junkshot, why is it not showing up? Why is it not showing up? There we go. Unfortunately, Junkshot, yeah, you are extremely late. I'm an hour and 20 minutes into it, and I'm actually just kind of wrapping up a little bit. So, yeah, definitely. Oh, fuck, I didn't put the banner on for the entire fucking video. Why am I only noticing this now? There we go. That one. I'm genuinely only noticing that now. Anyway, look, the point is, she was in absolutely no way, shape, or form worse than Jessica Yaniv. Ass. Like 90% of her content, I'm just kind of repeating myself now, I know, but I'm just kind of summing up. 90% of her content is, look at the ugly trans person. Aren't I better than them because, you know, aren't I fuckable? Ha 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 ha. That's literally that's 90% of her content. 90% of it. Look, I don't even fucking know anymore, guys. I genuinely don't even know. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand, like how anybody can be a grifter. I know that, like, we kind of started this off by kind of saying, you know, this and that. It's anybody who is a grifter. Like, I fucking hate them. Like, you're just a despicable human being. You're just a despicable human being. I don't know, man. That's my whole view on it. That's my whole opinion. As I've started to do with these types of videos, let me know in the live chat from right now if you disagree with anything that I have said. If you have an opinion that is different to mine, so you can overall agree with what I said, but maybe you just have like a slightly different take on it. If you wanna come in and just kind of share that opinion, say so in the comment section right now, and I will post the link down there. But other than that, just kind of whilst I'm giving everybody a chance to do that, what do I have that is coming up? So for not tomorrow, but for Wednesday, because I'm working tomorrow, but I'm off for like basically the rest of the week. So for the rest of the week, I have Caitlin Bennett leaves YouTube. She did a video on that, so I'm going to react to that. That's going to be fun. PragerU did a video. This is for next week. PragerU did a video where they literally just went completely and utterly full mask off, and they literally did a defense of slavery. So that's going to be fun. And then I'm going to talk about the battle for the 2K stimulus checks as well. It's just something like I don't know, like maybe it's just because I'm fucking Irish, and that like we've actually done the whole kind of like stimulus package like correctly. That I just don't understand the whole kind of controversy surrounding like why we can't just get stimulus checks. Like anyway, that's the kind of upcoming videos. Yeah, as I had said on Crafty Keela's channel on not New Year's, was it Saturday night? It was after Leo's debate there anyway. So yeah, as I said there, I thought that I was going to have a debate coming up for you guys, but yeah, no, he basically pussied out because he thought that his logic was that if we do the debate on my channel and I'm streaming it right, because first off he said, oh, okay, so we're just going to do it over on your Discord and nobody else is going to, like get to hear it. And like, so I won't be able to kind of call you out as being like, this or this, or it won't be like edited or anything else like that. And I was like, no, we'll be streaming it on my YouTube. So it'll be going out live. So like, I won't be able to edit anything or whatever. And then he said that like, oh, so you're going to get your subs to come in and fucking bombard me and say that I'm wrong and this, and that, the other thing. And I was like, okay, but like, I don't understand why me having like a channel that's on YouTube where there's a comment section where I'm not inviting anybody else into the room. It's just going to be me and him talking. Why that's you guys bombarding him. But then again, he was a Republican, so it's kind of a bit unfair to expect logic. So yeah, anyway, look, I've left a few minutes there. Nobody has kind of said that they disagree. Look, if you think that somebody who would disagree with anything that I have said, send this video to him. And I have my Twitter now going across the bottom of the bar. So hopefully, if somebody sees this and they disagree with what I said, hopefully we can have a conversation. Hopefully we can, like maybe bring them on and have a debate after, So yeah, look, until tomorrow, same time, 3:15 Irish time. I don't know what time that is in the US. It's just whatever time this video went live at. So there you go. Until tomorrow, guys, I will talk to you guys then. And as always, have a wonderful